Hey guys, welcome back. This is my triplex surface calculation, and this is going to be the optional method. This is my crash course series, so that means I'm going to take several examples of triplex optional method calculations, and we're just going to go through them step by step and show you how they work and how they play out. Now, this is pretty much the same thing as any multifamily calculation, and the reason I'm doing the triplex is because specifically a triplex calculation optional method can be used in lieu of a standard duplex method in certain cases. And so to see the difference there, just check out my duplex video, and it explains in there how you can use a triplex sometimes in the optional when you're doing a standard duplex calculation, and you can take the lesser of the two in some cases. So anyway, check that out if you're interested in that. Also, if you want more detail and more depth on the multifamily calculation, please check out that video, and I'll have the links in the description for those videos below. This is on the 2023 code, but you don't have to worry about that too much because they really haven't changed anything in the last several cycles. And I think so pretty much anybody that is out there right now, all the states, I think 2008 is the earliest cycle that's still being used, and this should be still good for that as well. Okay, so here is the table. You're going to see it's in two different columns here, and you have a left side and a right side, and on the left side, these are going to be your per unit loads. So you're going to figure up all your loads for each individual unit. And then on the right side, you're going to combine everything, and you're going to take the whole building. You're going to figure out the full building load and the demand, and then you're going to add the house loads and so forth. So let's just run through this really quick. I'll explain it very fast, and then we'll go through some examples. You're going to take your square footage of one unit of your triplex. Then you're going to add your small appliance circuits, 2 of those minimum. Then you're going to add your laundry if it applies. In a triplex and other multifamily, a lot of times there are no laundry provisions, so you wouldn't have to do that. Then you're going to add your fixed appliances at the nameplate. You're going to add your range and cooking at the nameplate, dryer at nameplate, water heater at nameplate, any extra motors at nameplate, and then the largest of your heat or cooling also at nameplate. You're going to add all these values together, and you're going to get your total per unit load. Then you're going to jump over to the next column. You're going to carry that number from down here right up to this spot here, the total per unit. Then you're going to multiply by your number of units. So on triplex, it'll be 3. That'll give you your total for the building. Then you're going to apply your demand percentage. You're going to go to table 220.84, and there are some exceptions. You have to check those out. And you're going to come up with a percentage. You're going to multiply that percentage by your total here and get your total demand load. Once that's done, then you're going to add in any house loads. You'll total those up separately and then add those. I don't have any house loads in these examples in this video. I treat house loads in a separate video, and you can check that out. So we're not going to talk about this in this video. But then you total everything up, you get your total VA, then you divide by your voltage, and that gives you your amperage for your service. And it's as easy as that. You have everything you need to know. Once you have the data, you just input the data into these spaces, do a little bit of calculating here, and then you come up with your answer. And it's that simple and easy. And you can do these really quick. As long as you have the data, you can just plug in the numbers and have a total triplex calculation done in a matter of minutes, really. Okay, our first example, number 1, is a triplex building. Each unit is 1,600 square foot, and we have a bunch of other data here. It shows everything that's in each unit here. There are no house loads on the surface. It tells us our voltage is 120, 240 volt single phase, and then we're going to go calculate the amps. And since the data is also on the next page in the table, we'll go ahead and move right along. Okay, here's all your data over here for example number 1, and we're just going to start plugging in the numbers. So each unit is 1,600 square foot. So you're going to multiply by 3. That gives you 4,800. Then you add your small appliances. Now we're not told there are any small appliances over here, but we have a minimum required of 2 small appliance circuits per building. So we have to add those in. We have a laundry circuit, 1,500 each. 1 minimum is required. We know because it says right here we have a 1,300 watt clothes washer, so we got to add that in. But we have to add a minimum of 1,500 watts, or VA. So even though it's 1,300 watt clothes dryer, our load for our service has to be counted as 1,500 minimum. Then we're going to go to our fixed appliances next. At the nameplate value, we've got dishwasher, microwave, disposal. Plug those numbers in here. We're going to go to our cooking. Take our nameplate. We have a 7800 watt range. Dryer, 4700. Nameplate. Remember, we don't use the tables for the range or the dryer when it's the optional method. Then you have a water heater, 4500 watts. Any extra motors? We don't have any. Largest of our heater AC, we've got a 3600 watt heat pump and a 9.5 kW furnace. So of course the furnace is larger. We put 9500 VA right there. We just add all these together. We get 39,800 total VA per unit. Carry that number up here. Then we multiply by the number of units, which is 3 for a triplex. We get a total of 119,400 VA. Now we go to table 220.84. And we apply the 45% demand factor, and that gives us a total demand load of 53,730. We don't have any house loads, no house loads, so we don't have to worry about this section. So we just carry that number on down. We have a total VA for our building at 53,730 VA. Divided by our voltage, 240, we get 224 amps. Now we can easily size our conductors, our conduit, our surface size. Okay, example number 2, we have a triplex condominium. Again, we'll go on to the next page. Here's all our info over here. We're just going to do the same thing. We're going to take the square footage. We have 725 square feet per unit. Multiply by 3, 2175. Add in our small appliance circuits, 3000. Add in our laundry circuit, because we're told we have clothes washer. Fixed appliances, we have dishwasher, disposal, and a micro hood. Cooking, we have a 6200 watt range. We have a dryer at 5000. We have water heater at 4100. We don't have any extra motors. And then the largest of our heat and AC, our heat is 6500 watts for a furnace. And then we have two 1200 watt AC units. So the furnace is the largest, 6500. Add all these together, 31,975 for our total per unit. Slide it up here, multiply by 3, we get 95,925 VA. Again, we go to table 220.84 and we find out that 45% is what we multiply our number by, and we get 43,166 VA for our total demand load. We have no house loads, so that becomes our total in VA for the building. Divide by our voltage, 240, and we get 180 amps. So you see how quickly these things, we can go through these so fast, because once we have the data, we just plug them in, and there's really not much calculating to do. I mean, you're adding here in this column, you're doing a little multiplying here and a percentage, and then adding and dividing, and you're done. Okay, number 3, triplex townhouse. We'll move on. Here you go over here, we have each unit is 923 square feet, multiply by 3, 2769, add our small appliances, add our laundry because we have a clothes washer, dishwasher, disposal, micro hood. Now we have a jetted tub also. Our range, 9,000, dryer, 5,000. We have water heater, 4,500, no extra motors. Heat, we have a 10,000 watt furnace and 6,000 watt heat pump. So we take the heat, add them all together, 40,969, multiply by 3, we get 122,907. 45% of that is 55,308 VA, and that is our total building VA. Divided by 240, 230 amps. And again, I'm going fast because I know you guys can just pause this if you need to. All right, example number 4, last one. This is a studio triplex apartment. Now each unit is 333 square feet. Now these are tiny. The reason I chose this is because on another video on the multifamily, I did I think it was a 60 unit apartment building. And so they're studio apartments. But for a triplex, that's really small, 333 square feet. But I figured I'd just keep it that way so you can make the comparison. And we'll see how that turns out as far as sizing of the service. There are no house loads again. Now the difference on this one is all the cooking and heating appliances are gas, and that's going to make a significant difference. There are no laundry provisions on site. The service is 12208 3-phase, so that'll change something also. So we're going to find our amps. Okay, now here's a big warning here. We cannot use the optional method demand factors for this problem. And the reason for that is we have to have electric cooking equipment as per 22084A2. So 22084A2, we are told in A that all three of these conditions here have to be met in order to use the optional method for multifamily. Well, the second condition here says each dwelling unit is equipped with electric cooking equipment. Well, we do not have electric cooking equipment. See, all cooking and heating are gas. So we cannot use this method. However, there is an exception here. Now, before I go on though, so what would you do? If you can't use this method, then you have to go back and use the standard method instead. And you can see my video link in the description for the standard method. But, however, there is an exception here, and this exception says when the calculated load for multifamily dwellings without electric cooking in Part 3, which is the standard method, Part 3, of this article exceeds that calculated under Part 4, which is the optional method, what we're talking about, for the identical load plus electric cooking based on 8 kW per unit, the lesser of the two loads shall be permitted to be used. So what that means is that you have two options. You can, one, take this example, number 4, and take everything as it is, but use the standard method. Or you can add electric cooking at 8 kW per unit to the problem, and then use the optional method. And then you can take the lesser of the two totals. Whichever one is less, you can take that one and use it for your calculation. So that's what we're going to do. So I created a 4A example here. So we have a studio triplex apartment. Everything's the same except we added an 8,000 watt range for each unit. So let's see how that changes our problem. Okay, we're going to run through this like this, and then we'll compare it to the standard method at the end. So we've got studio triplex. It's 333 square feet per unit. We're going to times by 3, 999. Add our small appliance circuits, 3,000. There's no laundry. Remember, it says right here, no laundry provisions. So we don't have to put anything for laundry. Appliances, we have a disposal and a micro hood. Range cooking, we do have a range now because we're adding that. It's a fictitious imaginary range, but it's 8,000 VA. I'm going to add that in there. Don't have a dryer. No laundry at all. No water heater because it's gas. No extra motors. We do have, now our heat is gas, but we do have AC. Remember, we have 1200 watt AC unit in each unit. So 1200 there. Add all these together, we get 15,999 VA per unit. Carry that up here, multiply by 3, 47,997. 45% of that is 21,599. No house loads, so that becomes our building total. Divide by 208 3-phase, which means we have to multiply our voltage, 208, times the square root of 3, and then divide that number into 21,599, and we get 60 amps for our building, our service amperage. So how does that compare to standard? Well, here's a standard method of the same exact calculation I did in another video, in a standard video. And we can see that running this calculation through the standard method, we end up with 17,398 VA and 48 amps. So you can see the difference here. Using the standard method, we actually get a lower number than using the optional method. Now that's not very common. Usually the optional method, even though we're adding the 8,000 watt range, usually the optional method will be smaller still than the standard. But because these are so small, the square footage, that's what makes the difference. And it's only a triplex. It's not, you know, if you had like maybe a 10 unit multifamily or a 20 unit, that would make a big difference. And I'm pretty sure then you would come up with a larger number for the standard than you would for the optional. But in this case, it's kind of backwards. Standard is smaller. So if you were asked to give the absolute minimum size service for this triplex service, then you would have to go with the standard method. Okay, and just a couple of last little things here. I'm putting this back up here again, 220.84A2, because that is where we find the exception that tells us that we can go ahead and take this comparison and take the lesser of the two totals that we come up with between the optional and the standard method. Also, one more thing I wanted to note was, even though we come up with a 48 amp total for the service on the standard method, that doesn't mean we can use 48 amps for our service total. And that is because in 230.79D, we are told that for any building, the smallest service you can possibly have is a 60 amp service. You cannot have a service smaller than that. So we would have to up this 48 amps to 60 anyway. So what that means is no matter which one we do here, the optional or the standard, we're going to come up with 60 amps for our service. Now, if this had been a residence, a single family residence, then 100 amp minimum would be required. But since this is not, this is a multifamily, 60 amp service is the smallest we can go. All right, guys, well, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Please hit the like button if you liked what you saw, and please subscribe also if you'd like to, and be notified when I come up with new stuff. It really helps me out if you subscribe and hit that like button. Check out my other videos. If you have any questions, let me know what they are. Anything I didn't explain fully or you'd like more explanation of. I have a 2020 series out on Calcs. I am also working on a 2023 series now. I think I have about, I don't know, 9 or 10 videos on that so far. Let me know what you guys want to have a video on, and I'll see what I can do about it. Again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.